Hi, this is Tina Hamilton, and today I'm here with Bruer Kerschner of Kerschner Office Furniture. Brewer has been with EO for how long?
I think I'm 18, 19 years now at
Wow,
EO
18,
Philadelphia.
19 years. He's one of our tenured members, and my new board seat, my new role in EO Philadelphia is to get better engaged with the tenured members, put a little spotlight on them, and learn more about them. So we've invited Brewer, one of our oldest members, not oldest in age, but oldest in tenure.
The 10-year members are the old people. Yes, we know that.
Some, not all.
Wise,
Um,
older and wiser.
Older and wiser. I love that. That's definitely why we have him here. And Brewer, I think I'd love to hear from you, and I'm sure others would, is how EO has enhanced your business, your life, and what are the things that have really impacted you that you can take away or that others could take away?
So we were talking earlier before we started the show about, I'm 19 years with EO, and I dropped out of college. I was never a good student. If I didn't have EO, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
Mhm.
Been there. The forums were always educational for me. I'm a visual learner, and it's been great that you have a sounding board
Yeah.
or even a board at all. I don't have an advisory board. We now have
Hmm.
this $18 million company with 35 people,
Wow.
and I don't have a board. We joke with a
Right.
good friend of mine. He's my only board member. But EO was start to finish was my board for all those years growing and just bouncing different ideas. One of the things we talked about earlier is too about my buying my first office building. You know, how do you do that?
Right.
How do you find money? Where's the money come from?
And how big were you when you started? How big was your business
It
when
was
you started?
probably a $2 million business, maybe a
Okay.
$3 million business, probably 7 people back in the day.
Right. Early on for a furniture company, right?
My first building was, I think, 18 years ago or 17 years ago, or maybe it was 16 years ago. I'm losing track. As Tina said, I'm the old guy in the room nowadays.
Never gonna live that down.
And I'm used to it now. At 63 years old, I'm used to it. But again, when I bought a building, I had a forum with 8 people on a forum saying, I'm a struggling $3 million business.
Mhm.
How do I go buy a building with no money?" And you laugh
Yeah,
at that. How do you do it?
right.
Well, I did it a year later. I found somebody that owned a building. They wanted to cash out, but they wanted to keep the building. And I bought into the building with no money. And we went out and got a $1.2 million loan.
Woo.
And we shared that loan for probably 15 years. We shared that loan, paid down the mortgage, and we sold the building 3 years ago, but I'm still in that building in Brookhaven, Upland,
No kidding.
paying rent on 20,000 square feet. But
And why sell it, or do you wanna go down that
yeah, I'll go down this
rabbit hole?
path. He was selling his business and he had 19 buildings. So he wanted to
Okay.
sell that building. So that was part of his portfolio. Um, I'm out looking for another building right now. Um, I'm getting 63 years old and I'm not in
Right.
form anymore, so I don't have my people to my sounding board, which I miss. I do
Mm,
miss. And to say at 63, do I really want to go do it again?
right.
And that's my big dilemma in life right now. I enjoy life. I'm having fun in life. My kids are older, and do I want to go do it? But the building I have now, where I bought the building, and my mortgage payment on my building was $1.73 a square foot. Now I don't own the building anymore. It's
Yeah.
still only 250 a square foot,
Oh, okay.
but it's a shitty warehouse building, and
Okay.
you know I have a beautiful office building in King of Prussia with a 10,000 square foot showroom in King of Prussia. So that's a building we own too.
So did you start building a real estate portfolio as a result of this?
So the McDonald's movie, what's it called? With Keaton. The McDonald's movie is one of the best movies
Oh,
around.
yeah.
He goes, "You're not in the burger business. You're in the
Yeah.
real estate business." I'm in the office furniture, commercial office furniture business, and I do own 12 apartments, and I own
Okay.
40,000 square foot building in King of Prussia. Sold the warehouse and looking for the next adventure. So I love the real estate business. Both my boys are in the real estate business.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's smart.
So yeah, so they're so
Start
they're
young.
they're having fun, and one works in Philadelphia, one works in New York. But again, real estate is another new thing that I didn't know about, 20 years ago.
Right.
And we're I'm not sure we're promoting EO, but
Yeah.
we're with EO. I had my partners, these apartment buildings, I'm looking to sell these apartment buildings. I called an old EO member, Michael Wax, I'll give him a plug, from Linden Lane Advisors, and said, Michael, these 12 apartments, should I keep them? Should I sell them? He's building 160 apartments down here on Locust Street.
Wow.
And, you know, he'll give me the world because he's an EO
That's right.
member that I grew up with and for him. Now he's been out for 5 years probably, but he'll give me any time of day.
It's a forever connection.
It's a forever connection.
And the people will just, I mean, what you're saying, I've experienced myself, and I'm only just beginning my 7th year, that
Yeah.
how many times, just even there's a Facebook site where I posed a question and people have come, spent hours with me. It's a phenomenon, the way they've created a culture of that with, I think it's 19,000 members around the world now.
Is it 19? That's, yeah,
That's what I
that's it.
last
I think
read.
so.
So you started
So,
at 2 to 3
so hold on.
million.
So
Go ahead.
I got to
Yeah.
say, Vince, our host at 15N Media, is here hanging with us, and I talked to him for 10 minutes before the show,
Okay.
and one of the questions I feel comfortable. He's an EO, rookie at EO, starting a struggling business and having fun, and has a great office here we're sitting in right now, the studio it's called, right? And I said, "Are you making money?" And you can't just ask somebody that question unless you're an
Absolutely.
EO
No,
member. You just can't ask that question.
very good point.
So, so I love that question. And are you making money? And he gave me I don't know if he gave me a bullshit answer or not. He needs more business. He's struggling. Get this name out there.
When you're
Let's go,
early,
everybody.
who has enough business when you're early on? I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think that's a thing.
No, but that's the power of EO.
That is the power of VO. And so you've been in business how many years now?
I am 22 years in business now.
22 years in
22
business
years.
with your furniture company. You have real estate.
Yeah. So dabbling in real estate. Again, we talked earlier about the first building I bought and how I bought it and how I bought it with no money. And again, I couldn't do that without some great mentors
Because the risk would be too great to not knowing,
to not knowing.
not
You know,
knowing what's ahead.
I'll fast forward, and I bought a 40,000 square foot building in King of Prussia with two partners. And I was talking to EO presentation at EO and in my forum group, and we were talking about buying the building and how much it's going to cost me and the renovations. And then one of the guys just talked about how to structure the real estate company. I have two partners in that. So he said, you got to structure it this way. And he saved me $50,000 just by
No
that
kidding.
1 minute
That's
conversation
insane.
about how to structure the LLC. Now it's some kind of 1% ownership in the building, and then the other entity owns 99%.
Mm,
But it's a tax savings of $50,000 a
That's
year.
insane.
Not a year, not a year. That one moment was $50,000.
That's insane.
So it's good.
And so it encourages you to do more then? You said you own multiple buildings, or did that?
Well, I said it earlier. I own 12 apartments in East Falls. That's a total failure.
Oh, okay. All right.
I
Well,
thought I was making $100,000 a year I've owned it for 7 years now. I thought I was making $100,000 a year, and really I was just losing $50,000 a year. So I have a big
okay.
loss coming up one of these days when I sell it. I'm actually struggling whether to keep it for another 3 years or sell it now and take a loss, or keep it for another 5 years. And I'm literally reaching out to my mentors and talking to my mentors. Part of my mentors this will sound funny, but part of my mentors are my 29-year-old son in real estate in New York, and
I
my
love that.
34-year-old son at CBRE in Philadelphia. And they're funny. They're like, Dad, sell it. It's a loser. Sell it. And then I go back to my one mentor who does this a lot, and he goes, they're young. They haven't been through the ups and downs. It's not a
Mm,
loser.
okay.
You can hold on to this and weather that through there. It costs you 40 grand a year. Just suck it up and keep it. And it'll be sunny the
It'll
next day.
build, the equity will
It'll
build.
build. You pay the mortgage down, the rents will go up, and all of a sudden you have a winner. So I'm confused about which way to go.
Right.
So
And it is harder. I relate to what you're talking about because I got into real estate late also. I don't have as much as you, but I'm purchasing another place in Texas and trying to decide. I'm 60. Where's the line that you draw? And so the beauty is, sure, if you talk to real estate agents or investors who have their own interest in mind, you don't know if you're getting the right answer. But with
Right.
EO, you can almost be assured that you're getting honest advice from somebody.
All right, so we're going deep on the show on eo.org. So let's keep on going.
Might as well, right? Yeah.
It's I tell people, who your two best friends. Do you know how much money you make? And when I ask that question
Mm,
out loud, no one knows that answer.
no,
You know, your two best friends are your best friends. You go to the bar, you drink, you
it's
go
a
on
good point.
vacation. At EO, they know your net wealth, they
Yep,
know your struggles, they know whether it's a hardship with my wife, or a struggle with my child, or something great about my child, or whether buy a building. It's a cool platform to just to get things to talk things out.
that's right.
What's the number one thing
Right.
that the problem we all have is communication, communication, communication. So if you can talk about that stuff and get it out on the table, it makes a big
And the
difference.
beauty is you can be humble. Like people are humble. They just say it. In the real life, people often I see try to look better than they are, more equipped. Like you said,
Right, right.
if you checked with another entrepreneur that wasn't part of EO and how's your business? The first thing they're going to say is wonderful, great.
Yeah, great.
Because they want to look great, right? They want to,
Right.
if you act great, people see you great. Well, there's truth to that. You don't go around announcing how badly you're doing to the world, but in the EO community, you're safe because you might get an experience share or
You,
something
you
that'll.
we all have problems, and they all are different levels. Like our kids with ages, as they get older, the problems get bigger.
That's right.
But even in life and growing a business, whether it's a $1 million business or a $5 million or $18 million business, we all have struggles. We all have the same struggles. So the question is, who's there to help you? And I always say, who are your mentors? Do you have three mentors?
Right.
If you don't, talk to your mother, your father's lawyer, the banker you have, and
Mhm.
just ask one of them to, I need help. If you just say out loud, I need help.
Did you have a mentor that really helped you in your world, in your business?
Well, I was just showing Vince earlier my father's ring.
Mm.
My father died, I guess, 12 years ago. And I dropped out of college at 20 years old and asked my father for a job. And I drove a truck for him and then worked in the warehouse for him. And
What
went
business? He had a business?
office supplies and
Oh,
office furniture.
okay.
So Staples bought CB Kerschner in 1996.
Wow,
And
that's
fast
impressive.
forward 30 years later, I started my own furniture business. So
Mm.
they really wanted the office supplies. But my father, when I dropped out of college, I did everything in the office, went outside sales, hated it, went back inside the office. And then my father was always there for me. I worked a 12-hour day, a 14-hour day every day with my father for probably 3 years
Wow.
until my wife finally asked me to marry her. So then, no,
Huh.
that's not true. Until I asked my wife to marry me. So I married my childhood sweetheart. I dated her for 9 years. As she went to college, I did not. And then, so I lived with my dad, and then bought my first house with my dad in Roxbury, Manayunk. And my dad was always there, a workaholic. Um, I dropped out of college. My father said to me, "It's number one thing I regret is not having a college education." Now that was in, I got to think back really quickly here, 1983. And today, at 63 years old, it's my number one regret myself
Is that right?
that I don't have a college education.
Hmm.
I really think that piece of paper is only a piece of paper, but what it brings with you is friends and education and growth. And so my father said to me, and I said to my kids, and my kids, thank God, all have college educations. Um, but my father was my mentor. And again, whether it was buying real estate, working hard every day, selling office furniture, teaching me to be nice to everybody, to get out there, half the battle showing up. If you show up, people will respect you and like you. And he was a great sounding board for me, and I miss him dearly. I talk
Mm.
to him all the time still. But it was my mentor and my love.
It's
So
a wonderful thing to have your own father as your mentor.
yes.
I don't think everybody can say that.
Right. So I do a little mentoring myself, and I always ask the 26-year-old, the 32-year-old, the same exact questions. That's all I got. But the questions are, who's mentoring you? Who's helping you? And I do give them examples of where to go find somebody. You see this older person at the Starbucks every day, or your
Mm,
grandmother's friend, or a guy you see at the beach. There's people out there that if you ask them for help, they will help you.
that's right.
And then you just upgrade your mentors as you get bigger and grow out of a mentor. And then there's people like us that are are, are on the back nine,
Hmm.
and all I want to do now is help and
Right.
give back. And you know, Kerschner Office Furniture gives a lot to charity. And we have a giving tree the size, we have a 10-foot giving tree in our office that,
Oh, I
that
love that.
has all the places we've given furniture to. And so, you ask, you know, you ask them for help. Find a charity. Find
Right.
somebody doing something and say, "Can I
It's
help
just a
you?"
constant
Yeah,
state of giving,
right.
and it gives back to you.
Yes. Now it's I get that gift.
Right.
So
That's right. And so I just want to end with what your father was your mentor, and that's so admirable. What would you say was the key lesson that you took away from him? You've
I just
mentioned a
said it.
lot of
I
things.
just said it. Just showing up is half the battle.
Showing up is half
Showing
the
up.
battle.
But
And tell us a
my
little bit
my
what that means to you,
my
showing up.
father said, "I'm the luckiest guy in the room." He goes, "The harder I work, the luckier I get." Now there is, with all luck, is how you do have to show up and work hard,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
and and be smart about how you work. So the biggest lesson was just get out there. We're downtown, beautiful. You and I both had a beautiful
Yeah.
drive into town today.
Yeah.
I had a 7:30 breakfast this morning in town today.
Oh, that's
So I got
yeah.
up at 6 and jumped in my car at 6:30, and
You're just
you just have
going.
to do that. You have to get up and going. And then I have an event back. I'm driving back to Camp Prussia after this show, and then tonight I have to drive back into Center City again and do it all over again.
Right.
But I'm doing it for Stateside Vodka, so
Oh, right. I'll be there. We
we're
have
gonna
an
do that.
event tonight. Another fun free EO perk, a vodka party. How you can't go wrong at a vodka distillery, right? I
Yes,
believe that's
Stateside Vodka
it's yeah.
is opening their doors to us, and they're showing us behind the scenes of how they became huge in the last
Yeah.
6 years.
That's cool.
It is very
It's
cool.
cool to be able to see a business that you're already familiar with the product, and they're just people like us. And that's the thing in EO too is you're meeting people just like yourself that are either I think it's 1 million in order to begin at EO. You have to be business has to be doing at least 1 million, but it goes to billions. I'm sure you've met some
Yeah.
and it travels. I certainly have met billionaires that have given me amazing advice. And like you said, just want to give help. I mean,
Well,
I
Stateside
could tell
Vodka
so many
wasn't
stories.
even here. Vince will know better than we do. They weren't here 6 years ago.
Is that
I
right?
think they're a 4 or 5, 6-year-old company that these three guys got together and said, we can do it better. And they're probably drinking some kind of vodka, on a Tuesday night, saying, "What are we going to do next?" And they came up with a great idea. No, actually, we'll find out tonight what they really did, how they got there. But
Yeah,
but yeah, that's the idea. And then you surround yourself with great people,
right.
and that's a big thing too. Surround yourself with great
My
people.
gosh,
I
such an
have
important
32
lesson.
people in my company. They're absolutely awesome,
Hmm.
and you just keep on hiring nice people and people that want to work hard, take care of the business.
They'll take care of you, right? You
Yeah.
take care of them, they take care of you. Well, we've touted EO, but of course, I want to make sure that we're also ending this with talking about Brewer's success because you have been successful and people can look up to you and learn from you and all your years of experience, shares and experiences and um, ups and downs. And thank you for sharing that with us because that's the truth. It's not perfect up here, right?
Right. Whatever stage you're at, that's all you still have struggles. They might be bigger struggles or smaller struggles, but there's always a lot of struggles out
Always
there.
something. Yeah, so it's so important to have a network, like a network that's going to be true to you and uh and help you grow, like you said. And I think it's great advice is to make sure you have some mentors in your corner.
Just ask for help.
Ask for help.
Can you help me with this? And how many people say no?
Mm.
You know,
No, everybody.
everyone says yes.
It's almost a selfish deed because it makes you feel good to help
Right.
somebody, right?
Right.
So,
We like talking about ourselves.
right?
Do we?
Yes,
I'm
yes,
not
we
sure we do,
do.
but yeah. But yes, it's fun.
Well, thank you, Brewer. I really appreciate it. And Vince over here in the background, thank you. And I've enjoyed talking to you and learning about you. So
Thanks, Tina.